as a man, as a queen. And well, in this program, we titled, What is Our Crime Series? I'll be answering questions that border on Okwa people as it concerns the activities of government of Abia State and how they have treated and how they have handled the issues that border Okwa people. So in this program, get set, I'll be answering questions concerning the performance and the activities of the government as it regards Okwa people. Yeah, so much. That's why we call it a series. What is our crime series? We have been dealing with these issues, thinking that our outcry can make the governor change his mind and make the governor do something, but it seems it has been falling on deaf ears. I've been in this studio a couple of times talking about the same thing, but we can't stop talking because there's no change yet. So nothing is on ground as regards governance in Okwa West local government. The governor has been on seat for 7+ years ago, and it will interest you to know that there is no single project that has been commissioned by the state government in Okwa West local government council. And it is pathetic because everybody says Okwa is the oil-bearing community, oil-bearing local government of the state. So it's unthinkable that the government of the day can so ignore, can so abandon, can so marginalize people, such a people, and you still find people supporting that government from that area. So we will not keep quiet because we must let the world know these are the things we are going through. I've in this studio, I've sent pictures of our roads, the nature of our roads, that they are impassable. At some point, the local government council at UKWA was not passable. People couldn't go to work. Until recently that NDDC started the palliative work. We shouted that Okwa East was cut off from Okwa West. There was no link. There was no link completely. And we begin to wonder, are we part of the state? So that's why we say, what is our crime? So there is nothing on ground. Now, after a long while, when the PDP in Okwa saw that they had nothing to talk about and elections were approaching, we were telling them that this government is a failure. There's nothing Okwa can boast of in this government. So when they saw that it was really becoming an issue, they went on visitation to the governor not too long ago towards this election. In fact, one of the elders, wrote the governor and said, "Sir, if you do not do anything for Okwa people, you wouldn't have anything to campaign with. In fact, you wouldn't try coming to Okwa to campaign." So when that petition, so to speak, got to the governor now invited them. Now in that meeting, 3 things the governor said, which are very ridiculous. Number one, the governor said he was going to complete the project that is still at gutter level, Orata to Ogwat Road. He was going to complete it. The second promise, he said, Okwa has no light for the past 3.5 years. And what is holding the light is just 30 million. So we began to ask, if the local government has been getting their money, what is 30 million spaced in 6 months? We see in the newspapers that local governments get 140, 135, 120 something million every month. If Okwa gets 120 something, 130 every month, can't the chairman save 5 million a month? In the space of 6 months, we're able to fix the light. Do we need the governor to come and promise 30 million? Governor that has stayed 7+ going to 8 years, 30 million. When he made the promise, people were happy. Oh, we're going to have light again. The committee was formed, which is good. Committee was formed to take care of it, and I commend the committee. They are doing well. Because just yesterday they told us that they have connected to the high tension, which is good. But the question is that supposed to be something to commend the governor for? That's the question. Now, The third was that he was going to appoint the what's constitute the commission for Asopadek, as if that is a favor. This is a statutory constitutional matter that the governor is obliged to perform. It's not a favor done to anybody. So he now made it as a promise. Okay, and our people came back a little relieved that now we have something to talk, but there is nothing to talk about there, because we're not talking about 100 days in office here. We're not talking about 1 year in office. We're not talking about 2 years in office, not 1 term. We're talking about 8 solid years with budgets every year. So what it means is that Okwa is not captured in the budget of Abia every year. That's what it means, because there is nothing apart from these 3 things I mentioned now, which is not likely to be completed, because when you discover that the governor has made several promises, one of them is that he said before he leaves office there will be, Abia will have an airport, but we know there's no groundbreaking up till now. So it's very likely that even the road he said he's going to do, he will not do it. So these are the challenges. Absolutely, that is one of the reasons why we have constantly said that UKWA Nwankwo is a sham. And when we say, some people get angry and say, oh, why are you talking like that? It's a sham because there's no relationship that does not take into cognizance the interest of the participating members. There's no relationship. Now, UKWA Nwankwo only helps the Ngwas to move up and puts the Okwa down, permanently down, without any plan of coming up. Now, we saw the clamor that the old Bende has ruled Abia for 16 years, so that the old Abazo, which comprised of 9 local governments, should be given another chance to make it up to 16 years. Now, that could sound logical without going into the nitty-gritties. That could sound logical. Now, one expected that if you are presenting an issue to the entire Abia based on equity, because the reason you are telling us that old Bende shouldn't go again is because you feel that they have done 16 years. So now old Abba should complete their own 16 years. That's equity. Talking about equity. Now, one expected that those who are proponents of equity coming down will also say, in old Abba zone, we have Okwa, we have Ngwa. These are 2 distinct nationalities. We are Okwa and Ngwa are only political neighbors. We are not the same people. We're not brothers. We have distinct language, distinct culture. We're not the same, but we are political neighbors, which is perfect. Wonderful people. But the point is, one expected that since an Ngwa man is doing the 8 years of the old Abazo, would it not be natural justice and equity to now give Okwa the second tranche of that will make it 16 years? That's what every reasonable person would think about. But what did you see? Another segment of Ngwa came out. They call it Munato. That's the back. So the question is, where is Okwa there? You ask, they say, no. Where is Okwa in that agreement? Now, you come to senatorial position. The Ngwa has held it for 16 solid years. 16 years. Now, the governor is an Ngwa person. He wants to go and continue from where his brother stopped. And that his brother is still not retreating. He's still there. He wants to go again. Another question is, where is the Okwa in this? So, I feel angry with Okwa people who blindly, because of party loyalty, party nonsense, support these things. You see, you can't be loyal to a party that shortchanges you. You can't be loyal to a party that doesn't take cognizance of your interests. Politics is all about interest, and that interest is not a selfish interest, it's a general interest. So the PDP has shortchanged and has no plan for Okwa people. Now the governor is running for the Senate. Now the Okwa Nwankwo leadership had problems, which we know will come because it was an issue that will border on leadership of who to endorse and who not to endorse. That problem came up. I was watching the back and forth. Before we knew it, another leadership of Okwa Nwankwo has come out. The previous chairman of the Ukwadangwa Elders Council, an Ngwaman. Now, as issues came up, they said they suspended the chairman. I saw again in the press release another Ngwaman leader of Ukwadangwa. So is there no time? Is there no time in this union that an Ukwaman should be given something in this union? That's the question we're asking. And anybody who is reasonable, we want to ask the same question. Is there no time? Is there no time that an Ukwaman should be given a chance? Governor Wike was making analysis the other day on radio, because our situation, Okwa people, is akin to the situation of the Eche people in Rivers State. We have Eche and Omoma local government sandwiched into the local government of Obiakpo, the popular Obiakpo, Emoha local government, Ikwere local government, very populous local governments, and another one that made it 6. Now, there is no time an Eche man can get a senatorial mandate without the support of these 4. That's the same thing that happens to people here. But the governor, you can call him any name, but the governor in his wisdom said, if we don't give them, if we don't help them, they can get it. Now, the candidate of PDP in that senatorial zone is from Eche. And Eche people are happy. And that's why the governor sang the song, Enyetundeba, 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 Enyetundeba. And he sang it even in Abia State here. So one would have expected that the governor, being his friend, can emulate him. Is governor going to the Senate? Is Wike going to the Senate? He's not. So these are the challenges. The current appointment of sole administrator at Superdec is not a welcome development by Okwa people. And the reasons are clear. We know that this commission was essentially formed to cater for the interests and the needs of the oil producing communities. Now, the issue that the government or the government in power fails to understand is that if a Superdec is empowered and allowed to run, Okwa won't complain, because in a Superdec there's a certain percentage that goes to the oil producing communities. Now, everybody knows that the 30% is taken from the 13% that the federal government gives to oil producing estates. 30% of it is statutory allocation that goes to a Superdec. It's statutory, meaning that it must come as federal government gives allocation to states. Now, in the last 1 year, August 2021 to August 2022, a sole administrator was in charge. Now the question is, where did the money, this statutory 30% from 30% that comes, because we have not heard that the federal government owed any state allocation. We have not heard. They could be, you can call the federal government anything, but you can't say they have owed states their due allocation. Now the question is, this allocation that comes from federal government and 30% of the 13% comes to a Superdec, where did it go to? Because as an Okwa man, there is no project in the last 1 year in Okwa, not one. So that percentage that comes to Okwa West as the only oil producing local government, where did it go to? So we discovered that the government in power has seen that sole administration has become a better option to siphon money, because the same thing they do with local government transition chairman is the same thing they're doing now with sole administrator of Superdec. Because you can't tell me that a commission gets 150, close to 200 million in a month, and there is no project to that. So that we cannot award any contract. He can't. Now, after that 1 year, our people had expected that he would do the right thing by constituting a full board. They had waited, people have lobbied, and he announced sole administrator again. What are we expecting? Nothing. I can tell you nothing will come from it. I congratulated my brother who was given the position, but I also told him nothing will come from it, because the government has seen that this is the easiest way to cut away money, and they won't stop. Otherwise, tell me, what is the impediment? What is the bottleneck? What is the challenge in constituting a full board? What is the challenge? So it is something calculated to still keep the people down, because what is he going to do? Which project is he going to do? It was actually given for the elections. So you have more loyal people that will support you in the elections. Otherwise, the man there would have continued, because these people have continued. Our people have started murmuring for 1 full year. and Okwa, because the chairmanship is supposed to come to Okwa from the act. It's supposed to come from the law that established a top there. So he did it just to calm Fred now, so that elections can come and go in his favor. But I want to say, as Okwa people, that we are not blind. Mr. Governor, we are not blind. We see these antics, we see these things, and we know that you are playing games with us. When I said the last time that the governor does not have single respect for Okwa people, people were talking, he treats us with disdain. He doesn't have respect for our people. Forget if 1 or 2 or 3% that are in government that will always want to, praise the government because that's where they're eating from. But even those people know that the government has not done well. Because if not that, they wouldn't have gone to the governor to say, if you don't do anything now, we won't have anything to talk about as campaigns come.